Up, it's me, Kevin, just here to talk about a few different things today. This is kind of a free roam day for me, just because I'll be leaving for Cuba tomorrow and for 10 days, so I won't have any videos up between now and then. But I really thought it'd be good to make another video just before I leave, obviously, just because, I didn't want you guys to think that I, kind of hiccuped out and left for, 3-4 weeks or whatever, which, I do very much care about my viewers and people who like watching my, my videos, my thoughts and stuff like that, my reviews of movies and stuff like that. So today I will be talking about a little bit of a few different things, like I said, including like Spider-Man, and also one film which I'm really looking forward to seeing. If you don't know the Peanuts movie, if you don't know what I mean, Peanuts is that Charlie Brown Snoopy movie that's gonna be coming out next year. I can't wait for this movie. I have been a huge fan of Charlie Brown and Snoopy for so long, and when I first saw this trailer, I think it was only like 2 weeks ago, I was actually sorry, it's like a month ago, God, I was like, whoa, like, I knew they were using some kind of new hybrid CGI system, animation CGI or something like that, and when I first seen this trailer, I was like so happy, because I was such a big Charlie Brown fan. And Snoopy, and I have not seen them for years. I remember that, they would have a Christmas special on every Christmas, and that'd be about it. And they used to have a bit of a, like a TV show, whatever you want to call it, animated, and I haven't seen that in years. So I'm really happy that Charlie Brown is coming back to the big screen with Snoopy, and this one didn't have it had more of a Snoopy kind of trailer to it. Like, it showed Charlie at the very end, but it was still a really, 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 like 9 out of 10 trailer, if not 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see Charlie Brown and Snoopy really go at it. It's gonna be fun. Other than that, guys, like, what else? Like, Spider-Man, what's gonna happen with Spider-Man? Sony, I've been talking about this a few times. What are they going to do? Like, there's been so many rumors and speculations that Sony will make a deal with Marvel. And, as far as I know, there is still something to work in a deal. Obviously now, if you don't know that, Spider-Man won't be in Captain America Civil War, which, the Civil War storyline needs Spider-Man, but Marvel's been able to kind of go around that by using Black Panther as a neutral character who is not on either side of Captain America or Iron Man, so they kind of use him instead of Spider-Man in the storyline. But that there are still talks to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just because even without using Spider-Man in the Civil War, the Civil War storyline, that they can still introduce him later. Like, imagine Infinity War will be, it's more than 5 years away, so I'm sure they could, bring a tease in or something like that. The only thing that's bad about all this is that Sony wasted 2 movies. Wasted probably more than $1 billion to make 2 movies with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the 1, and using Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone using this whole time to make a storyline up that now it seems it's going to get scrapped completely, which looks like a huge fucking waste for me. I didn't hate the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't hate it. I still liked it. I knew what the issues were. I liked the very first one, but yeah, I found that there were too many chefs or cooks in the kitchen kind of saying, where there were too many people poking and prying at what Mark Webb was doing with the film. And I really think if Mark Webb was giving 100% control without any other people kind of pry into what he was doing, that the film would have came out much better. And I didn't hate the film. I still liked it, but it did have its issues for sure. But I do feel kind of like mixed with what's gonna happen. Like, is Andrew Garfield basically not gonna come back if Marvel and Sony are able to make a deal? And also to add in there, Andrew Garfield is no longer signed on for another Spider-Man film. I think it was as of October. He was based that's as far as the signing went. So they would have to re-sign him or reboot, which would just be like, if it was just a Sony reboot again, a 3rd time in a row, because there's been the Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire. Now there's been the films with Andrew Garfield, and if they have to reboot again, like, what the fuck? Like, they're basically saturating the entire market, and they've already saturated the market after what the fuck happened with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, not the film, but the amount of commercials and ads and stuff on TV, which was just, it basically, you could cut and paste every TV spot and make the film right there, because they showed so much fucking stuff, and it overly saturated the market, which is why it didn't make as much money as it would have had they just been very restrictive of, not restrictive, restrictive of how much they were going to show. Like, fine, bring out 2 trailers and maybe 6 spots, TV spots, and call it even. Done with it. They brought out like fucking 50 and showed the whole film over TV spots. It's ridiculous. So that was Sony's really the big issue that they had, is that, I think the film would have even made more money had they not marketed the film the way they did. Even with the film not being as great as it was, had they not marketed it the way they did, I think they still would have made more money than had they not, obviously marketed the way they fucking did. It was a fucking I loved the first 2 trailers. After that, it was just like overkill. It was overkill right from the start. After that, it was like a showing. I know what they were trying to do. They're trying to get as much, word around about this film. Let's go see The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Let's go see, they wanted this, but I think they way overkilled the amount of commercialization that they did with this film, and it basically fucked them over. Like, they still made like $700 million, but they still wanted to make at least probably $900 to $1 billion overall, and yeah, so they really screwed themselves over with that. And if they end up rebooting a 3rd fucking time, the amount of saturation, it's not even going to be worth making another film for at least 10 years. And as far as I know, these lease agreements between Marvel and Sony, because basically Sony doesn't own the rights to Spider-Man. They're leasing the rights from Marvel, which, I think they have to make so many films after so many years, or the rights get reverted back to Marvel. Which means if they have to reboot again, and they lose money and they leave Spider-Man for, I think it's 8 years. If they don't make a film within 8 years of the last, then the rights get reverted back to Marvel. I could be wrong there, but I think I'm pretty close. So I really think it's in the best interest of Sony to make a deal with Marvel and, cut profits. I don't know. I think Marvel's making more than enough change these days that they can make a deal, and they may not make all the money, but if they can split the budgets and split the profits properly, I'm sure they can still make a fair amount of change on both sides of the border when it comes to the companies. So yeah, that's my own personal opinion. Maybe there are other things. I do understand. If it's a $200 million budget, it's going to at least be be $40 or $50 million worth of commercialization for that film. So let's split it halfway, and there could be some jiffies with how much Marvel will make, how much will Sony make. I still think Marvel will make a profit out of it. It's probably going to be a quarter of what they would make had they owned Spider-Man altogether. But if they have to make a deal to get Spider-Man, because I'm sure they want Spider-Man in there. It's just like when you buy a game. You really want the game. It's really expensive, but then you have to deal with the owner for a long time. You might be able to make up a deal. God. To use the game or use the character, whatever you want to call it. But after a while, I'm sure Sony's willing to. They're bleeding money because they don't know what to do with this character, Spider-Man. So I'm sure eventually they'll deal Marvel's way, and they'll deal right, and then Marvel will be able to do what they want to do with Spider-Man, with still having Sony involved, but at least having like kind of a 60-40 split. They might. I don't know. Like it could be a 40-60 split between the creative control. We'll have to see. I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to bring Spider-Man in, by the time Infinity War comes up, in 2018, 2019. God, I'm gonna be 27. Like I'm gonna feel old when I'm 27. So Jesus, I really don't like it's gonna be 5 years before we see Infinity War, but. Like, sorry, I totally jumped out. I'm 20. Yeah, I'll be 27 then, so I'm 23 now. So, yeah, it looks good that we're gonna see an Infinity War and see Thanos, but that's like 5 years away. 6 years, like, gee, I think it's 5 years, but still, ay, man, I hate waiting. Like, I love to see them, but God, if it takes that long to get here, man, I might be like, like holding a crutch by the time, I'll be in a wheelchair or some shit, but. Just making jokes, but yeah, we'll have to see what Spider-Man and Marvel do. I really hope they're going to be able to make a deal. I'm sure whatever the deal they make will either for one option, let Marvel like reboot Spider-Man altogether, but with the Marvel brand, so it'll help. It will make money, probably not as much money as they want to, but if it's still critically and audience-wise is accepted, then that's a win. It means I can move forward with something entirely different with the second film, or with second Spider-Man film under Marvel Studios banner. So we'll have to see. So yeah, God, yeah, between that, Sony's having so much shit happening with their leaks these days, and that's basically how we all know about Sony and Marvel getting these deals around. Like, we'll have to see, but it's still interesting that Sony is having so many of these issues with the leaks and the interview. I saw the interview, let you guys know. I thought the film, like, I can kind of see, but if you don't have a sense of humor, like, I'm pretty sure North Koreans probably don't have a sense of humor, I don't know. But being that they're kind of claiming that they did it just because it mocked their fucking leader, like, come on. If you watch this movie and you don't have a sense of humor, then maybe you shoot someone's face off, but you have to have you literally have to be the cold-hearted bastard to really hate this, take this movie so personally. I think this film was just meant to be, a free expression kind of film, where, I express my views. I guess I did research a lot of facts up and put them in this film, but it was just meant to be a fun film. If you don't like it, kiss my ass. It's a free speech world, and that's why, with North Korea obviously not giving those kind of rights to their citizens. He doesn't like those films obviously being, copied and sent to North Korean citizens. They watch us and laugh. It's like, oh fuck. This really isn't good that my citizens see this, and that's why, they were so hyped up on not letting this film get out. But it still got out, and it's good. I wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10, I wouldn't give it 8 out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. Like, it was still a good film, but, I think it was just meant to be a joke film, but still give a relative kind of topic of what it's trying to enforce, saying, if free speech and rights are the way to go. If you're not like that, then you're literally just like in the movie Kim Jong-un was just a child with he was so immature, willing to kill people and stuff like that. But yeah, the film was it was okay. So yeah, God, what else am I gonna talk? Oh yeah, I'm getting an Xbox 360. If any of you know, like, I'm totally shooting this out there. Like I said, this is kind of a roam video, or we roaming about different topics. But I try to play Lord of the Rings: The Battle for Middle-earth 2 on a Mac, but I use Boot Camp to put Windows 7 on there. And even then, when I put the game on, because obviously Mac, the Boot Camp will allow you to play Windows. I download the game, and it totally doesn't want me. Like, it will open and then it closes, and then I do a compatibility check, and it totally tells me, okay, like, I think it passes on a few of them, like the the sound and stuff like that, but everything else either says unknown compatibility or unknown hard drive, or I think it was something like that. But if anybody knows how to fix this problem, please send me a link, for God's sakes. I've been fighting with my Mac just to play this one game. But the whole reason why I bought this Mac was, all I wanted was to play this one game, and then I use everything else on my Mac side. So, God, it literally pisses me off a lot when I can't play this really good game. I guess, yes, it is an old game, but it's still a good game. I used to play it a long time ago. I gave up a little bit because the laptop I had at the time was it would take 5 hours just to get through one level. So that's how bad it was, and that's why I kind of gave up on that for a bit. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films making so much money, and hopefully Peter Jackson will come back at some point to make more films. And God, I really hope they come back to make more films. Also, if you have not seen this awesome parody video, and this is probably the best parody video I have seen in years. It's done by Hillywood. It's just called Hillywood. It's like Hollywood, but instead of obviously the O, it's a Hillywood. Hillywood Lord of the Rings parody video. Just search it up on YouTube, you'll find it, and watch the whole thing. It is damn awesome. That's all I have to say. It's like a best parody video. Even even Weta Workshop, who is obviously known for making a lot of the visual effects and prosthetics and all that stuff for Lord of the Rings, even they posted on Hollywood's Facebook site where they posted this parody video that even they thought this was a very, very impressive parody video done, because all the visual effects were it was really authentic and real. So yeah, once again, it's called Hollywood. You can probably find them on Facebook, and then the video will be right there where it's like a Lord of the Rings parody video. It's really good. I really recommend you watch it. It's a really good, funny video, but it's really good. That's all I have to say about it. So it's just awesome. Being like a Hobbit Lord of the Rings fan, I completely endorse that parody video. So yeah, God, and then and also Weta Workshop unknowingly confirmed that they will be coming to Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. I'm planning to post something on the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo Facebook site, because usually they'll announce who's coming. I think they announce it twice a week. One, like on Thursdays they'll announce creators, and Tuesdays they'll announce celebrities. I'm going to post it saying, Weta just confirmed that they're going to be coming, so, and then it's like, oh shit, why did they have to confirm that on their own, just by mistake. But yeah, that's awesome. Weta's going to come back. I'm going to buy a bunch of gear. I'm hoping to buy Tariel's bow and arrow, and then maybe one of Gandalf's staffs, either the new one or the old one, because obviously the old one gets destroyed in the desolation of Smaug. And then he gets a new one from Radagast, which ends up being his own staff, obviously in the Fellowship of the Ring. So that, and I would love to get the Orcrist sword, the Thorn hats, like the real one, the one they make. But fuck, it's like 11 grand. Like holy shit. Like I would kill to have that sword. But obviously I don't have, my pockets aren't that deep, so I could probably buy a few things. But that sword is probably gonna be staying in the case. So. Yeah, I can't wait to see Weta, see Richard Taylor. I met Richard Taylor, who was the head of Weta Workshop, actually 2 years in a row. It was last year and the previous year, and I got his autograph. I was talking to him. He's an awesome guy. I love what Weta does. And it's kind of a sneak peek. Might be going on a New Zealand trip in the fall, so we'll have to watch out for that. I'm hoping that, there are a few things I'm hoping on that will succeed, and then it'll allow me to go to New Zealand, where I want to meet, visit Hobbiton and visit Weta and the Weta Cave and all that. Like I really want to go, but fuck, it's so expensive. Like it'll cost me like $3,400 both ways, and that's not even with hotel. Hotels are actually comfortably, like they're not that bad down there. Like they're $80-$90. You go up to even the good ones, the 4 stars, go to maybe $145. It's not bad. So I'm really hoping to go to New Zealand in the fall. That, and then San Diego Comic-Con, like I want to see if I can go to that too. We'll have to see. I'm really hoping I can go to that. I have so much planned, but there are a few things that need to happen before obviously I can do it. So also guys, I want to show you someone, my cat. Okay, sorry guys, she totally ran off on me. But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this year. 2015 is gonna be a big year. Also, I'm going to throw this out there. Fantastic Four is going to be coming out, I believe, in August or July? Or something like that. And then everybody's yelling that there should be a fucking trailer out for that movie now, like at this point. And then everybody's saying, okay, the movie's really not going to be that good. And some people are saying it's going to be really great. This is because no one has seen anything from that whole project with Fox. The only project I have full confidence in is the X-Men project, obviously, with X-Men Apocalypse, and X-Men X-Force, which is being rumored for like a 2018 possible release, which might tie in with Fantastic Four. Like there have been a lot of rumors for that. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for today. I try not to make my videos too long, or it takes like a shitload of time just to download it onto YouTube. So once again, thank you very much for watching my ranting, and I'm hoping you enjoy some of this stuff I was here to talk about and discuss and rant on about, obviously. But like I said, I won't be here for starting tomorrow. I won't be here for 10 days, and even after that. But I'll have lots of photos, lots of stuff to share with you guys on my Google account. So thank you very much for watching, and I send you my best. And what else? I'm trying to think of a good saying, a Lord of the Rings saying, and I think there's one. Sorry, my computer just totally you know when Max, like, they time out and then you have to log in again. Okay, here we go. Sorry, but I think that's that saying that Gandalf says. It is do with the time that is given to you, or something like that. It's kind of a much longer version, but that's kind of a short version. Do with what time is given to you, something like that. But I think that's gonna be it for it, guys. My name's Kevin, and peace out.